Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It's me again, doing another session for Sword and Shield. Except this time, oh, sorry about that. This time we're going to be doing two sessions in one recording because, yeah, there's really not a lot to talk about in regards to progression. I've been busy. I just had my finals, I think yesterday, as of recording this. So yeah. So, it's been a while. It has been a while. So, let's start off with a comment. Not one that was left on. Ooh, excuse me. Not one that was left on either a video or on the thread in the forums, but one that was in the that was on my status. So what you'll find out later in this video is I caught a Gigantamax Butterfree. We'll talk more on that later. So, and I got a response from Mewstein. Mewstein, if you're watching this, hope you don't mind. I'm just gonna cover this. Mewstein said, "Congratulations, and before I forget, I wanted to thank you for your review series on the games. I am very prone to playing them through rose-tinted goggles after being thoroughly unimpressed by Gen 7, but it certainly puts things into perspective hearing a different set of opinions. It helps that we're around the same stage in the game, so we're encountering things pretty much in sync." And, well, I wrote back to them saying, "I'm glad you're enjoying it, and regardless of how I feel about the game, I hope you're enjoying the game in whichever way you can, whether that's by simply playing the game or by making fun of it. And also, thank you for your congratulations. I really appreciate it." I just want to say thank you very much. I'm very glad that you're watching the series, and I'm very glad that you enjoy it. I hope. I mean, I'm not hoping to like force my opinion onto you or anything like that. But I do hope that you enjoy the series and maybe, give you a different type of, I'm glad it lets you see a different type of perspective on the games. Yeah, I very much appreciate that you're watching the series. Means a lot to me. I really like it. I really like knowing that, hey, somebody's watching these, and it's, because I don't think I watch them. I'll probably do that later on, when I have to, like, I don't know, finish up the series or whatever. But then again, I also have my notes, so I technically don't have to. But thank you very much, Mewstein, for watching my review series. It does mean a lot. Thank you so much. So let's move on and start off with session 6. Um, I just got a Twitter notification. Let me check. Nintendo Switch has games. Yes, it does. So today, okay, so we started off with this. I went to catch myself an Applin. Because in another thread that I'm going to discuss here real quick, there's another thread. There are actually a couple threads now, which makes me very happy. I'm glad to see that there are a lot more people posting about Sword and Shield. Not even in a negative light. I'm just glad to see that more people are discussing this game. In general, it's pleases me. Alright, let me see. Okay, so it's in a thread on the Nuzlocke forums. The thread is called Thoughts and Musings through Pokemon Shield, spoiler heavy, by Simply Unknown. Simply Unknown, I very much appreciate your blog. It is definitely, I'm very glad to see a positive opinion about this game, or at least a neutral one. Given my own negative opinion, I do like to see, positive opinions about this game. Because, it helps me, with my perspective. Because then, I have to realize, not everybody's going to hate this game like I'd hate this game. I don't like this game very much. I won't even say it's hate, it's more like disappointment, which I guess is a lot worse. But, I am very glad that I read your. I'm very glad to read your blog. It does make me happy. I'm just right now. I'm just trying to find the thing where you discuss Applin. There it is. So I wanted to say thank you for telling me where Applin is. It's on Route 5, and I didn't realize that, but I appreciate it because I wanted to grab Applin. It's one of the more beloved Pokemon in this game, the beloved new additions. So I caught myself an Applin, and the whole Applin thing made me realize I do appreciate how some Pokemon are locked to encounters in the grass only and not in the overworld, which is cool because that means that not all the Pokemon can be found just by walking into them and stuff. You actually have to do, some good old fashioned, Pokemon hunting. That sounds wrong, but Pokemon hunting. But yeah, I wanted to catch it. It took a while because I didn't manage to get one for a while, but I did manage to catch myself an Applin, and I named him Johnny. Both because I wanted to name him after Johnny Appleseed because, well, Johnny Appleseed, is an American tale. I think if you live in America, you at least know the gist. But it's basically this guy, who I guess just traveled around the United States wearing like a can. I think he wore like a pot on his head or something like that. And like he would just plant apple seeds all across the frontier and all that stuff. And he was apparently a very nice man. But I also named him after Some Call Me Johnny because Some Call Me Johnny is my favorite video game reviewer. And having any reference to the man, in my opinion, is something I very much like to do because I really like Some Call Me Johnny. He's a very good creator. So I figured I would stay that. I have been grinding. I was grinding Johnny, and God, that sounds wrong. I was grinding Applin, and the only thing I noticed is it doesn't seem to learn any moves, and this is because I caught it I think at like level 15, and I got it leveled up to like level 30 something now, but it hasn't learned any moves. It only has the 2, so I don't know why that is. But let's get a move on. So, whew. Oh, God. So, we went into the second Galar Mine, which I must say is very beautiful. I love it. I think it's a very beautiful, and now I'm starting to understand, I'm starting to get it because the first Galar Mine was red because there were fire types there, or at least Roly-Coly was there, and as the premier fire type, or fur type, the premier fire type, and I definitely liked that, because in Galar Mine 2, it's more centered around water types, and so I made sure to. Also, yes, the background is the same. Not the same as the first Galar Mine, but the background actually stays the same when you go into battles, which is great. I like the blue. The textures on the walls aren't very good. That's kind of... I think we've mentioned this a lot. A lot of the textures in this game seem to be very mediocre to very bad. And I'm definitely going to come back to that when we get to the end of this series. Because right now, I just think, at this point, my opinion is gone less... I guess I'll summarize it now. My opinion for Sword and Shield as of right now, because we're going to be 6 parts in by this point. My opinions on Sword and Shield right now, compared to the very beginning. At the very beginning, I was very, very, very agitated with this game. This game disgusts me. It does, and it still does. Still disgusts me, on a very different level, but the hatred for it has turned more into absolute disappointment and just kind of like the question, which, this game is so mediocre in just so many ways. It's so mid, and there really isn't much new to this game at all. Yeah. Outside of maybe the wild area. Dynamax really isn't new. It's just a new. It's basically just Mega Evolution, but all they really had to do was just stretch out the stretch out the model. So I don't think that had to take a lot of effort. It's just increasing size. Gigantamax, I don't think took a lot of effort either. You know, because one, most of the Gigantamax Pokemon are new, are based on the new Pokemon, so they could have just made those models while they were making the new Pokemon anyway. Yeah. And so because of that, I just yeah, it brings into question the one major problem with this game for me is this. If this game is so mediocre and there's really not that much that is like incredibly new or just game changing at all. So if it's like this, why was a majority of the national decks removed for this game? Like that is my point. Why has a majority of the Pokemon in this game been basically removed? So, okay, and so I'm looking at Cerebi right now. And they say, while most Pokemon games have hundreds of Pokemon that aren't available natively in the game, but can be transferred across using various methods including Pokemon Bank, Pokemon Sword and Shield do not have the Pokemon not available within the game. Just over 450 Pokemon are, at the time of writing, unavailable in the games. 450 Pokemon that are unavailable. If we go to the Galar Pokedex, let me see. I just have to go to the bottom to see how many Pokemon. There are 400 Pokemon total. In the Galar Pokedex. Total. This is total. 400. And a majority of them have been removed. Yeah, a majority of the Pokemon have been removed. My question, which I'm going to pose now, but I am definitely going to bring back later, because this is something, I think is going to basically be the most important thing. And out of the 400 Pokemon, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81. Oh, wait, no, 79, 80, 81. There are only 81 new Pokemon in the total 400. At least that's what I'm calculating here, because it goes from 810 is the start of that Pokedex to 890. So, given that, yeah, it really begs to ask the question, why? Like, that is my ultimate question. My ultimate question for this game is, why? Why were Pokemon removed when this game does not, and does not have anything interesting or like super new to this game. And that is the question I am going to pose today. Yeah, that I'm posing right now. That is, so think of this as this little segment here. Yeah, we got a little off track, but this segment here is just the important. We're taking a little bit of a review. So overall, my opinions on the game: less agitating, more mediocre and boring, which is actually much worse than agitating. When I'm agitated by a game, that at least means I have some sort of interest in the game. If I'm not agitated by it and I'm being bored, that is much worse, because if you cannot hold my attention, if you can't hold my attention, that is far worse than agitating me. So, yeah. So, we fought against Bede again, and, he basically, did his usual spiel of telling us he's like, I'm the greatest, being Shadow the Hedgehog, basically, and, we kicked his ass, but, he sent out a Galarian Ponyta, which is, very unique just from the concept, because it's basically just a flat-out unicorn in design, but it isn't a fairy type, which a lot of people were surprised when that happened. It is actually not a fairy type at all, which is pretty interesting. It is actually a psychic type. It does not even look like a psychic type. It evolves into a fairy type, into a psychic fairy type, but it is a pure psychic type. So hey, My Little Pony fans, look, it's Twilight Sparkle. But yeah, it's a My Little Pony basically. That's my joke. But yeah, we wiped it out with Shadow Ball, thanks to Miyako. So it was pretty simple. I like how Bede can't even admit that you actually beat him. He's like, at least you showed a little effort. Like, I let you win. Like, bruh, this character, I wrote down, bruh, this character's kind of adorable in his own little goofy way. He's like such a tryhard, and I know he's not really a dick. He's just such a tryhard that he thinks he's so cool and everything. Yeah, it's just like, it's so over the top. I wouldn't call him the asshole rival or the dick rival that we've gotten out of Silver. This dude just seems more like it's just like, he's just a tryhard. The dude thinks he's all that, he thinks he's all that, but it's like in reality, really isn't. Dude would probably get fucking one-shotted by Marnie. We're gonna be talking about her later. But, yeah. He gave me his league card, so he's not all that bad, And, that's it. I'm okay with that. Again, I like asshole rivals, but I don't think I don't always think we need a 100% asshole rival. I don't think we need friendly rivals. I would just like rivals, Characters I can like, but, characters that will at least give me conflict. As long as they have a reason to be my rival, I don't have a problem with it. So, I eventually encountered a Galarian, it's not flop disc. No. I encountered a Galarian Stunfisk. It wrote it as Galarian Sponge Boy, which I initially thought was a dark type, but it's actually a ground steel type, which is cool. It actually looks like a bear trap, and functionality-wise, it functions as a bear trap, and so that's pretty cool. I caught it. I don't plan on using it, but I caught it because I want to have all the Galarian forms, that I can get by the end of the thing. And, yeah, it was very, very cool. Considering that Stunfisk is just kind of a meme, in general, so it's kind of funny that, it got a fucking form at all. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. and I saw Team Yell in the distance, and I'm not very happy to encounter them. Um, you know, but I got myself set up, and turns out that basically Team Yell it was a double battle with Hop. Hop was on our side, and went pretty smoothly as I thought. So it took a little bit, but it was pretty standard. I managed to catch myself a Dreadnought after that, because, well, I really like Dreadnought, or Dreadnought, or Dreadmaw. Yeah, I think it's Dreadnought. I call myself Dreadnought. I don't like its pre-evolution's design. In fact, I think I've seen a lot of people on Twitter just really disliking the design of its pre-evolution, which it's kind of just a Koopa, and it's like, and it just looks dumb. Yeah, so I understand why people don't like the pre-evolution, but Dreadnought itself is a very cool looking Pokemon. Definitely a Pokemon, that let me look, let me see. Yeah, because you have Choodle, and Choodle looks dumb. Like, it just does. Choodle looks dumb, but Dreadnought looks pretty badass, and I like Dreadnought. I think it's a very cool Pokemon. So, yeah, I caught it. And, it was difficult to catch, but damn, it was a lot of experience. So, hey, it was worth it. And apparently Team Yell were cheering on a Carkol, which is the evolution of Roly-Poly. We've talked about Carkol before. It's the minecart Pokemon. And Kabu was like, like they were cheering on the the Pokemon. Kabu was like, "Get the fuck out of my way, bitch." Yeah. So the interesting thing about Kabu is that he is from the Hoenn region, which is interesting. I did have a theory that he could possibly be Flannery's grandfather. I think I've been disproven because I've looked into later cards. Because you get a trainer card for Kabu, but there are other cards for there are two types of cards, trainer cards. You have both normal trainer cards that you get throughout the story, and then in the post game they have rare cards. And Kabu's rare card shows him as a young adult, and so I don't think that he is actually Flannery's grandfather. But that would be cool if that were the truth, but I don't think it is. I think he's just an entirely new character. So, but it is interesting that he is from Hoenn at all. Outside of that, he seems like the traditional old man character, and that's fine. He's pretty decent. He's a pretty decent guy. And apparently, according to Hop, a lot of gym challengers in story quit at Kabu, which I guess is weird, but because for me, as like usually when I stop in a Pokemon game, not for difficulty or whatever, I usually stop at the fourth gym, to take a break if I have to with the game, and but the game kind of treats the first half of the game as the first three gyms, which kind of makes sense. I'll get more on that later. But, for whatever reason, this game treats the first half of the game as the first four gyms, with the second half being the remaining six gyms, which is fine. But that's just something I figured I'd bring up. So, but I grinded afterwards because his team is level 27, so I wanted to make sure that my team was at least level 30, which is what I did. So upon leaving, I decided to catch myself coughing because I wanted to evolve it into a Galarian Wheezing, just for the sake of having Galarian Wheezing, because Galarian Wheezing is just funny, design-wise, to me. It's just so goofy. But when I do evolve it, we'll definitely discuss Galarian Wheezing. But for right now, there's not much to discuss about it. So, there's that. So, I decided I was going to stop using Meowth at this point because it reached level 28. It didn't evolve because I have it with the Everstone, but I didn't really want to risk using it anymore. So I replaced him with Billy Joel, and I leveled him off screen, and he evolved into Toxicity. Now, Toxicity is definitely an interesting Pokemon just from design-wise, but also kind of concept-wise. It is a rock and roll Pokemon, basically, with two forms based on its nature. And looking at it, I got the amped form, which is the yellow form, basically. It has an amped form, and it also has a low-key form. I like how the amped form has 6, because apparently it plays off of its chest, off of these little, like, shit, what do they call it? They call it, like, protrusions on its chest that sound like it's strumming a guitar. But in reality, it creates electricity. I like how the amped form has 6 of them, like a guitar, and the low-key form has 4 of them, like a bass. That's a very good touch, in my opinion. I think that's actually a very cool touch to these Pokemon. But I got myself an amp. I evolved it into an amped form because that's just the type. That's how it was born. It had that ability, or not ability. It had the whatever trait that made it, the amped form. So that's what it evolved into. There was a police officer that went and was like, "Hello, hello," and it was fucking hilarious to me. It was just so goofy. And then, like, when you actually fight him, he had, like, this goofy-ass smile. He was like, Do you want to scrap with this copper? I actually laughed. It was pretty funny. So, we made it back to Motosuke, and so I did some more grinding. So, I decided to talk again after I did some more grinding. So, whew. What is it? Wait, what? Oh, so I read Bede's, I was reading the notes, and, like, the notes, because I record them with audio or whatever, it comes off really dumb. But, I was reading Bede's trainer card, and the poor kid was an orphan, and Rose pretty much gave him a purpose in life, and that's pretty fucking sad, which explains why he, kind of, like, serves Rose, but Rose fucking forgets who he is, which is, like, that's really also that's, like, really depressing. I also changed my character's design once I got to Motosuke. I bought some new outfits and everything for her and whatnot. I wrote down, I encountered a Snorlax. I tried to catch it, and it was difficult, but, yeah, that's life. And, yep, I wrote down the thing about Billy Joel evolving into Toxicity, and, we already discussed that. So, I finally got, I got Zippo to evolve into Orbeetle, which is a pretty cool looking Pokemon. It kind of looks like an Ultra Beast to some extent. I don't know if I wrote that down. And it's a very tiny Pokemon. But I like it. It's a very sharp design. Sharp and sleek, and I don't think it's as cute as Dottler. I think Dottler is just cute from the fact that Dottler is kind of like a fucking Mario design. It's like a Mario design, like a Mario enemy. So I thought that was very cute. But I did like, I think Orbeetle is definitely a very cool looking Pokemon. And it's probably miles better than the other Ladybug Pokemon. So, that's kind of depressing now that I think about Ladybug. So, yeah. So, now we're moving on to Session 7. And I decided to continue grinding. Uh, I caught myself. What? You gotta love these notes. Call myself a charity off screen because why not? I figured I'd just do it for Gen 4. The fuck does that mean? I think I might have captured a Scorpy. That might have been what I meant. I also evolved Lenny into a Berserker, and I don't really have any words to describe it. It's just a slightly larger Meowth with no ears, and it's a lot more Viking-like, which is okay. Yeah, if I can find it. Yeah, it's all right. Design-wise, it just kind of is, which is cool, I suppose. I don't really have much else to say about its design. It's just a Viking-looking thing. It doesn't even look like it doesn't really even look like Meowth anymore. It just kind of looks like its own thing. So I really think that this Pokemon was kind of just morphed into Meowth on its own for whatever reason. I also accidentally evolved Froyo into an Umbreon. I wasn't intending to have that happen, but it happened. Wasn't something I planned. I was pressing the B button and it didn't do shit. So hey, I got Umbreon, and that's okay. That's just what happens. Also, funny thing to note, and I don't know how the fuck this got past the game sensors. I was in the wild area, and I was traveling around doing, grinding by doing the max raid battles. And I saw a fucking trainer in the wild area, and their fucking name was I Have a Gun. Like, how the fuck did that get past the censors? Like, shouldn't that, not be allowed? I have a gun. If you're listening to this, I have a gun. Congratulations, I guess. But, ooh. That was fucking priceless. I also, so, now we're gonna talk about the, thing at the beginning. Oh, great. This is happening. This is happening now. Oh, don't you love when you have a hiccup while you're doing a live record, or when you're just doing a recording? So, I managed to encounter a Gigantamax Butterfree, and I didn't know if I was going to catch it. I did. I did catch it. I was not expecting to see that. To encounter a wild Gigantamax Pokemon after only 2 gyms. It was definitely... I wrote down... what I wrote down in my status that Mewstein responded to was... I caught a Gigantamax Butterfree. This is the first and so far only time I have genuinely felt happy while playing Sword and Shield. And yeah, that's the truth. That was the only time in this game I genuinely smiled because it was such an I was so awestruck at the fact that, I got to encounter this massive, basically Mothra, and I named it Mothra after I caught it. It was awesome. There was something about that encounter that just was inherently awesome to me. I wish the game could recapture that, but it just, it doesn't seem like it's going to be ever able to do that. So, that's how that went. But I caught it, named it Mothra, and I've used it a couple times, and it is fucking broken as shit to use a Gigantamax Pokemon, especially one that's level 30. But yeah, it was cool. It was definitely cool. So we entered the hotel, and we met up with Marnie, who has a very beautiful, just a very beautiful sounding, normal theme outside of battle. And I didn't know if it was her theme or the theme of the hotel, but I think it's her theme. And we had our first fight with her. It was the Void. It was the Void. I don't know what the fuck the excuse for this is anymore. This was so fucking lame. I wrote down, I don't know what the excuse for this shit is anymore. There really isn't one. This is just so fucking lame. At this point, it made the fight so much so much less interesting because it's not like we're fighting in the building. We're fighting in the white void. And it's just, this is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. These are not acceptable backgrounds, especially for a $60 video game. That is just the truth. And I'm saying that without, rage in my voice or anything. It just flat out isn't acceptable. Folks, we're not playing on the DS anymore. This is the Nintendo Switch. I will say it again. This is the Nintendo Switch. This is a console game being sold at full price. This type of stuff does not fly. With that. It does not fly here. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Shit like the, it didn't ruin the fight, but it just makes it less interesting because it's like, I don't feel like I'm actually, being, especially considering this is an RPG. I don't feel like I'm getting immersed into the experience. I feel like I'm looking into the void. Yeah, I understand in Gen 6 or in Gen 4 or whatever, Gen 1 through 5, yeah, we had inferior hardware, but it's just like ever since the 3DS, this should not have been a problem anymore. We have 3D. We have the technologies to be doing this. I don't know why we're not. So there's that. And after defeating her, we got a trainer card. It was Kabu's trainer card. And apparently he was actually very close to becoming the champion several times. And eventually he adopted a very no-holds-barred type of fighting. But, it didn't help. But after he fought against Leon, he decided, fuck it, I'm going to fight like a fucking champ. And that is why he is a very powerful trainer. So I'm interested to see how his battle goes. I am aware, or I was interested to see how his battle went. He has a Gigantamax Pokemon. It's the first Gigantamax Pokemon you would normally encounter unless you wind up catching one, like I wound up doing. So I went to see how that went. So we entered the Fire Gym, and this is supposed to be the gym in-game that people find very, very difficult. But I'm not talking real life. I'm talking in the game. Depending, real life could be very fucking easy. It was very easy for me. But I do like the gym mission for this one. You get to catch wild Pokemon. With the whole twist being that you have to make sure that it's basically a 2-on-1 fight. You get paired up with another trainer, and the whole point is you need to make it so that that trainer does not knock out the Pokemon or catch the Pokemon themselves. So you're going to spend most of the time, attacking their Pokemon and then throwing a Pokeball at the other Pokemon. Which is what I was doing. Two things I noticed. One, despite the fact that there is grass in this area, we are in a red fucking void. Again, I don't know why they keep doing this, and I'm going to assume that this is going to be a thing for the rest of the game. We're just, every gym is going to have voids. And that's so fucking lazy that it's like, it hurts. It really does. It fucking hurts that this is their fucking design choice. I don't understand why. I will never think that it was a good choice. It's just dumb. The second thing I realized is when I was using an attack against somebody on my side of the field, it did not play the attack animation. I have no idea why. But I was using Water Pulse, and I was attacking somebody on my side. In previous games, it would show the animation, and I did not turn off animations. Previous games, it would show the animation. Here, it just shows the Pokemon getting hit. I don't know why they did that, but that's really fucking lazy. It was never like that before, so I don't understand why the fuck they did that now. But that was fun, I suppose, just catching the Pokemon. It gave me free catches, and that's fine with me. I beat the challenge with flying colors, and we decided and then I went to fight against Kabu. Now, Kabu's team is Well, it's not incredibly interesting. It's a rather decent team overall. Let me go. Let me go check real quick. Ah, shit. What did it fucking do? That's not what I was trying to do. Okay. His team is not very interesting. He has two level 25 Pokemon, being Ninetales and Arcanine, respectively. Um, and, which makes sense, I suppose. I kind of realize, it's a little bit much with the Kanto representation, personally, but that's fine. And he also has our first Gigantamax Pokemon, that we fight against as our first trainer Gigantamax Pokemon, Centiskorch. Centiskorch is the evolution to Sizzlipede, and I definitely like its Gigantamax form. And also, I like the fact that its face is also the logo. But I like this whole stadium. The whole stadium. I love the stadium's design. The little red, the little cracks in the floor, the red. I also just happen to have a bias towards red coloring. It's just something I like. I like red. You know. But I definitely liked his design. He looks like a very grizzled old man. Very cool. Probably one of the coolest designs in the game, and I just want to emphasize, I don't have a problem with character designs. I think the character designs are probably the best part of this game. So Kabu's design, definitely great. I thought it was probably one of my favorite things in this game, period. Outside of that, I kicked his ass. I did like his unique throwing animation for Gigantamax, and because it shows fire coming from his eyes, and that's really fucking cool. But I beat the shit out of it using, I beat the shit out of it using Max Geyser and my Drizzlizzle. So, yeah, but one of the cool things is because I used Drizzlizzle, it had a rain effect because of Max Geyser, and he fell to his knees, and it had rain pouring down, and I thought that was a really cool twist. Because that was definitely something that was, the fact that they actually let that happen, that was very cool. I thought that was a very unique way for that to go down. Especially, I don't know if that was pre-programmed because they're expecting you to use that or whatnot, but I was okay with it. And so we got ourselves the fire badge, and we can catch Pokemon up to level 35. Yay, I still fucking hate this. I still fucking hate that. It is the worst fucking addition to this game. Is the whole catching Pokemon up to... You can only catch Pokemon up to a certain level. That shit's just fucking dumb. And then when we left, all three of the first gym leaders, respectively, Nessa, Kabu, Nessa, and Milo, all show up to see both me and Hop off. And I think this is why I will describe this as the first half of the game. It seems like these first three gyms are very tied through the intrinsic theme of just the typing triangle. The first gym you actually go to is the fire gym. Because that's where the whole announcement thing takes place and all that shit. So that's the first place you actually go to. You go to the fire gym. And then you go to the grass gym, fire beats grass. Then you go to the water gym, grass beats water. And then you go from the water gym back to the fire gym, fire beats, water beats fire. And so because of that, the first three gyms are kind of intrinsically tied together. And I think the game wants to treat it as its own half of the game. Despite the fact that, technically, the first half of the game would be the first four badges. But I'm okay with it. I definitely think that this is a good send-off at the end, because it's, considered that Kabu is supposed to be one of the more difficult fights in the game. He's not really fucking difficult at all if you have a water type or a rock type, or ground type, or anything that can beat fire, really. So, But I did like the fact. I thought it was a nice callback, personally, to the black and white style, where you'd have the gym leaders that would interact with you even after the gym fights, and see you whatever and whatnot. So I'm okay with that. I'm glad that they are giving the gym leaders character. I like seeing that. So and it shows that Kabu, has a lot of respect for people that defeat him. So, that's really cool. But that was it for session 7. Uh, at the end of this session, Hop went to go fight against Bede. So we'll see how that concludes in the next session. But we have to go to Hammerlock. So next session is going to be going around the wild area. I've already done a bit of session 8, but I never got to finish it. But I'm not going to record it with this. Probably going to mix session 8 with session 9. But I definitely, I think that things have, I wouldn't say they have improved, but, this game is becoming less agitating and just more disappointing, overall. But I think these 2 sessions were so far the best sessions I've had with this game. They're the most fun I've had with this game, personally. So I'm very, I am glad to at least feel slightly better about it. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Sword and Shield Critique. I hope to see you next time, and thank you for watching.